Welcome to Fanservice, everyone. I know we've kind of been gone for a little while, but we're kind of evolving into a much bigger, better internet show. And I'm joined by one of our new additions.
I'm Kimberly Baldiff. It's very nice to be here. It's my first time on television. It's
Yeah,
so exciting.
you know, here what I like to do is just throw people to the wolves. And she's going to be heading up our new cosplay segment as part of Fanservice. It's going to be lots of fun, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. That's just a teaser of what's to come in August. I am so excited because this has been an interview a long time in the works.
Oh, yeah.
We met this fantastic woman, and when I say fantastic, I mean she is probably the friendliest person you will ever meet at Wizard World last year. Mm-hmm. And you can tell there's a difference in a person when you see other people who just sit behind tables and don't look like they're even happy to see their fans,
right,
as opposed to a woman who's out there hugging people, talking to them one-on-one, devoting time to it. Yeah. I am talking, of course, of the absolutely amazing Genese Davis. How are you, Genese?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that intro. I am doing amazing. I've been looking forward to this forever.
I'm telling you, we met at Wizard World and it would just click. And I was completely surprised by her. Right. It's nice to see people who aren't quite the internet celebrity where they're just kind of full of themselves.
Right.
We've dealt with many of those. That's actually how the show started, was we leaving internet celebrity douchebags. So we start every interview with the Fanboy Gauntlet. So what this is, I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions. You give me the first answer that hits the top of your head. Are you ready?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
She's like, oh, no, I got to think. All right. Question number 1. Who is
I've never had an interviewer be so adamant to put you on the spot. This is going to be fun.
That's what we do. Question number 1. Who is your all-time favorite video game character?
Lara Croft.
Oh, see?
I'm about the cosplayer, so wonderful. Hopefully I do you proud.
Okay, old Lara Croft or new Lara Croft?
Well, I mean, I have a soft spot for both, for sure. But it was so cool to see the invention of the new. I mean, it was so cool to see her with the vulnerabilities and the flaws and just embracing, things that we all deal with. Basically, human frailty, right? I mean, it's awesome.
Exactly. I did love the new games. They were awesome.
I haven't got a chance to play it, but I absolutely love the new designs.
It is. It's amazing. Like, I'm mad I didn't buy the one that came with the figure. Because I was like, at first I was like, Tomb Raider, I played that on PlayStation, and then I fell in love with the game. All right, so question number 2. Now, this one's really fun. If you could live in any video game world, which one would you want to live in?
Oh, the first thing that comes to my head is Final Fantasy XI, because that's my favorite game. It was my first online game I played back in 2002. That was the game I cut my teeth on for as far as MMOs go.
I have to laugh at that one. What about you, Kim?
I want to know what race you played, because I played the Mithra for a while.
Mithra! Oh my gosh! Internet high five! I want to high five you right now.
I played 11 for a little while, and my character's name was Fintuzler, and my friends and I ran around. Well, I was Fintuzler L'Orange, we had Pamphlet du Media, and stuff like that. We ran around and convinced people they were fake quests, and they kicked us off the game.
Well, I can see how they would do that. And sending newbies off to the corners of the earth.
I did. I'm guilty as charged, hence.
They are hardcore in that game. I mean, at least when I was playing, we would get to these groups, and we would camp for 7-8 hours, and I'd be with all kinds of amazing link shells, like from all over the world, Japan, England, and we would just tear it up.
That's really awesome. Okay, question number 3.
Can I ask it?
Yes, pick one.
Yes. All right, pick one of these: Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation.
Oh, let's see. Let's go with the Nintendo.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Xbox.
Actually, I was right on the same page.
Right? She's a fan of Mario.
I play, console games on Xbox. I really want to try PlayStation. I haven't yet. I've always been, either Xbox or Nintendo, and I just want to try PlayStation. I really do. I really want to. I want to do the transition. I'm
going to transition for Destiny. I'm going to get the white PlayStation 4 bundle because I've been an Xbox fanatic since the first one.
Really?
I started on Nintendo myself, and I slowly moved over to the Xbox, but the Wii U, my roommate has that, and it's kind of good. I've been playing Mario Kart on it. I'm
so hard. I want to get Wii U just for Mario Kart. That's the only reason.
It's really worth it.
All right.
It's worth it.
Question number 4. What is your favorite story that you've ever been told in a video game? Like the video game story itself, like how Final Fantasy VII was epic and all these other ones. What's your favorite video game story?
Well, the first one that popped into my head was Fable. I really, really enjoyed that. But now my mind's just going to books. So you have the writer in me, you have the gamer in me. But yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my head was Fable. I really like that series.
What about you, Kim?
Video game world?
No, video game story.
Video game story. I'm one of those horrible people that kind of just power through the games and I read the cheat codes.
Oh, you're a power leveler, huh?
Yeah, even in 11, I didn't really read what the NPCs were saying. I was just sitting next. Come on, I need to get to the next quest. The notorious monster's about to spawn. Horrible.
I'm part and parcel to Final Fantasy VII. I think that is probably the most epic video game story, followed closely by Mass Effect.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, really good ones.
All right, so last question for you.
All right, outside of your own, what is your favorite geeky novel?
Oh my gosh, absolutely China Miéville. He is my favorite author, and one of my favorite books, probably my favorite book, is called The City in the City, and it's epic, you guys. Oh, you've got to check it out. It's amazing.
Awesome. So now that we've kind of warmed you up and had some fun, and we're a little looser now, let's get down to the nitty gritty. You wrote a book. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Holder's Dominion, that is the title. Yeah, have you guys read it yet?
I've started to, but I'm guilty as charged that I don't read enough because I have no time. So if it's not like in my face for 2 seconds, I don't remember.
Right. And you know, it's true. We have so much that we're involved in. We have our video games, we have our movies, we have our novels. But I am such a paperback girl. I still love, that feeling of curling up, next to well, I don't have a fire, but, if there was a fireplace, I would curl
Now,
up.
see, if you had a Kindle, you could put a little fireplace app on it and read right above it.
Or just give one of those Christmas DVDs, put it on your television that puts that fake fireplace
Oh, that is so
there.
redneck.
I come from Kentucky originally. I'm sorry.
I come from South Texas. So, yeah, Holder's Dominion.
Like you said, like you said, we definitely, it's fun to make time to read because there's nothing like it. But yeah, Holder's Dominion, the seed of the idea came 4 or 5 years ago, and the whole inspiration behind writing it was I saw a gap between my circles. I saw a need, and I love that quote from the movie Robots, where they say, "See a need, fill a need," and that was absolutely my calling, because I have so many gamer circles, not only industry professionals that work in the video game industry, but gamers who have grown up playing video games, and gamers that have become gamers in their adult life, and live and breathe the language and know just the ins and outs of everything about the industry. And then I have a circle of friends that have hobbies that they're just as passionate about, but have nothing to do with video games, equestrianism or aviation or whatever it may be, and they just didn't understand each other. And so I would get ribbed for playing online games. Like, my friends would say, "Why are you busy on Tuesday night? What is this word raid you keep using?"
I'm not a raid.
I thought you were a pirate or something.
What's a healer? Yeah, and so I realized, there's just this gap, and there was so much more to collaborative video games that people misunderstood, or maybe the media misrepresents. And I thought, I need to show this story. I need to share what I have seen over the past decade as a gamer myself, and then of course as a writer, I have this idea to present a form of entertainment that anybody could pick up. So the barrier to entry is next to none, because someone who's never played an MMO has to download the game, has to learn the keystrokes, has to learn everything about it. It's intimidating. Whereas with the Holder's Dominion, they can pick it up and read about, they can see a glimpse into the camaraderie and the teamwork and the challenge that it takes to be at the top level player. And so that's how the whole idea started. And I knew it was going to be tough, because I was going to have to invent an MMORPG plus focus on the real life aspect of the story that takes place in college, in a college setting. And so right off the bat, guys, I'm going up against some pretty big challenges. Back then, there was no such thing called a new adult genre. So in the literary world, there was young adult, which are books set in high school, and they're adult. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was pioneering a new genre called new adult specifically for college setting books. And lo and behold, we have a genre accepted now in the literary industry called new adult, which is what Holders falls into. So what's cool about this book is that I have people from all over the world, contacting me and going, either, "Hey, I'm a gamer and I finally found a book that authentically portrays what it's like to be in a link shell, in a guild, the pressures, the elation you feel when you've worked 7 months on trying to get a server first legendary or whatever the achievement they're working on. And then I have people contacting me and say, hey, I've never touched a game, but my son plays, but my girlfriend plays, my husband, my grandson, whatever it is, and they say that the book changed their perspective on the gamer in their life or video games in general. So that has just been an incredible snowball effect that has just completely warmed my heart, that this book is working, that it's changing perceptions. Isn't that pretty wicked awesome?
I think it's really awesome because you started a new genre. Like, when you first pitched this book, did people go, where's the vampires?
Yeah.
The sparkly vampires, mind you.
Yes. You guys, you would not believe the literary industry in general were fascinated. Like, oh, this is, we haven't seen a novel revolving college and college age characters plus video games in this way. And I even had some pushback with people being reluctant, like, well, we're kind of afraid that you're a female writer writing about video games, so maybe we should hide your name, like let's make it initials. And I actually had agents and publishers afraid that male gamers would be hesitant about a female writing about MMOs, and they even suggest, well, maybe we should rewrite the main protagonist to a male, not a female. And I was like, guys, I promise you, don't worry about it. I have to stick to my guns on this. So isn't that interesting, like how the evolution of the industry is slowly happening, but there's still pushback in certain areas.
Which, you bring up an interesting point, and your publishers are worried because they are in the archaic thinking of video games are just little boys.
Right.
But that's not the way it's been for quite some time. So,
right. There's
were you ever like,
old school mentality?
do you just not get it? Do I need to go to another publisher? Do you not know anything about the video game industry, or do you just say, hey, here's the next Harry Potter, go at it?
Right. And then you made that joke about vampires and writing. Trying to write what's trending, and I talk about this all over the country on various panels and expos where people will raise their hand and say, hey, I have this idea, but I just keep hearing that maybe I should just write what's hot, and you can't. You got to find your calling, find the story that you want to write from the heart, because that is what's going to impact the world, right? And so when I saw this need, I knew I had to stick to my guns and write it, because, like you said, all the statistics show, male and female gamers, it's 50-50. There's like 48%, women are playing and buying games, and like you said, the media and we still get that, they still perpetuate the same old mentality where it's a male dominated, but it really isn't, and that's why it's so cool to be a female, going to all these conventions and making these public appearances that show a different side to gaming. It's really cool.
I also think, like I said earlier, one of the bigger factors is you're not just sitting behind a table, signing books, handing them out. You're out there talking to people and having a good time with it.
Yes.
Where do you want to take the book now? Like, do you want to make it into a movie where hopefully Michael Bay has lots of Transformers and explosions in it? Or are you going to go kind of the indie route?
Yeah, it's funny because I have had solicitation for screenplays. So it's in talks that there's some producers that want to write some outlines and screenplays based on holders and start pitching it. And so it's definitely on the table, and it's really exciting because it never was in my wildest dreams. I just knew that there was a place for this story, and I had to tell it, and that was the fire in my belly that drove me. And to see the effect and the snowball that it's been having, it's such an honor, and I'm so excited to, like you said, keep sharing the word, because that's the whole thing. When you met me, I can't help but be positive, because I know how much of a positive influence not only Holders Dominion has, but like you said, my whole platform. Going out there and sharing my whole thing, which is everyone's a gamer. There's a gamer. I founded this movement called The Gamer in You, because I would have lawyers and editors that would contact me, or that I've been working with in the literary industry, that would say, hey, I play Zelda, but I'm not a gamer. I'm like, what?
They're like in the closet.
In denial, like it's a bad thing.
I play Zelda. Oh, no, please don't call out the lynch mob, Oh, no. Then you ask, well, who is Zelda? And they'll be like, the little guy in green.
Yeah.
No.
It's true, and I even had, a woman, I think she was in her 40s, and she said, I can't tell any of my coworkers that I play an online game because they'll make fun of me and they'll put me in a box and think that I'm weird. I'm like, wait a second, let me share my story. And when they learn that, hey, there are other people in the world that have not only are we industry professionals working 7 different jobs and wearing many hats, but there's so much that you can take from video games. I mean, I share this story so often that my whole career was on a different path where I had dabbled in aviation, and I was a student pilot, and I was a horseback riding instructor, and I worked in the finance industry. I mean,
like you weren't busy enough. I don't even know how you found time to raid with a schedule like that.
Right. And so when people hear that and they hear how video games have helped heal and help you become a better leader, they help you in so many different ways. They have the potential to that. It really opens people's eyes, and that's why I enjoy, spreading the word and meeting awesome people like you guys.
Thank you.
So you have a question?
Yeah, absolutely. I watch TED Talks a good bit, and there was this one speaker. I'm not going to remember her name at all, unfortunately, but the general message that she was delivering is that people do have a stigma on top of video games that, oh, it's just a waste of time. Oh, little Jimmy, little Jane, they're just, using their time. They're not doing anything productive. But the stance that she took was that, at the end of your life, what would you rather have done? Would you rather have, spent time with your son playing video games together, or would you just have let them play video games on their own, or done something entirely separate? Video games can bring people together. It's the stigma that people put on them that, like the lady, worried about her coworkers. It just sets her apart because she's worried. I say, don't be worried.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I have such a passion to share the positives and how in relationships, how sometimes people will say, oh well, such and such, she's addicted to video games, or they play too much, and I often will turn it around and go, well, wait a second, let's talk about, have you ever tried joining in and having that become a hobby that you guys do together, or something that relax and do after work, and it's amazing that if the perception that you have on it, like you said, if you just think about it a different way, or realize that there are so many things in our lives that you can overdo. So when someone pinpoints video games like, oh, that's addictive, I'm like, wait a second, we could get addicted to anything, shopping,
absolutely.
Sugar,
horrible
alcohol.
things like drugs.
My favorite's always when the new Call of Duty comes out, every news report's like, well, crime's gonna go up, when it really doesn't, you know?
No, it goes down because they're all inside playing the new video game.
Yeah, they're not out actually stabbing people or mugging homeless hookers or whatever, you know?
They're just doing it virtually, and it just gets out that tension.
It just makes me laugh.
Something, right? Because we read something. My team, we were looking at something, and it was like in the 70s or 80s or something. There was a violent crime, and they said, "Oh well, that person, listened to heavy metal. That's what it was." Or, "Oh, that person watched that violent movie." And so they always try to put it on something entertainment instead of the responsibility of the person.
Which
crazy.
is a very good point. Now, how long have you been playing video games, Kim?
Oh, geez, I don't want to date myself, but
I'll date myself if you date yourself.
Okay, it's a deal.
Okay, how long have you been playing video games?
The Tandy TRS-80, I actually used to program for it a little bit.
I'm on the same boat. Okay. I was the first Atari, and the computers that had orange and black screens with a giant floppy disk.
Oh, yes.
And what about you, Genese?
Well, for MMOs, like I said, Final Fantasy XI in 2002 was my first MMO, and I remember, my roommates playing and asking. I would ask them, "Hey, let's go to a movie," and they're like, "Oh no, we're playing FF and we can't." I said, "Well, just pause it."
Yeah, that's my favorite. Can't you just pause it? No. Can't you see that giant thing we're attacking right there? That's 100 people actually attacking it. That was my favorite was, can't you just turn it off when I did City Heroes and we would do the raid on the giant blob?
Oh, yeah.
Can't you turn it off? Does it look like I can? I'm all like pushing buttons, looking at it. No, not happening. So, we've all seen gaming culture evolve, and you're really big into the gaming culture because you've got the right belief. Everybody's a gamer, whether you like it or not. Everybody has a favorite Pokemon. Everybody can tell you something about a video game. I mean, everyone has that in them. They just don't always want to admit it.
Or they've got a game on their cell phone like Farmville or something like that that they play when they're at the airport, maybe waiting in line for something.
I think cell phones did a lot to bring gaming culture to everybody's hands.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, Genese?
Did we lose her?
I think we may have lost her.
We ran her away.
We scared Genese away? I mean, come on.
Okay, my first day and I'm fired already. I ran off the gas.
I'm telling you. Well, it's interesting to see how gaming culture has evolved since the days with the joystick and the paddle.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And,
my thumb still does that.
Oh, Genese is back. We didn't run her off. We were totally afraid you hung up on us and said, you know what, I'm not telling them the first game I played. There's no way. So we were talking about how, everyone's got mobile phones with games on it now. Everyone's a gamer, no matter what you think about it as. Now, as we've seen how games have progressed to something that you played on the Atari with the joystick, to now they're talking about virtual reality and the Illuma Room. Where do you see game culture going in the future?
And that's a question that comes up so often, and in the video games in our future panel that I lead, that they ask that, they're like, well, is virtual reality going to be the way it is? Are consoles still going to have a chance? Are PCs still going to keep going? And we debate this, and we go back and forth, different industry and veterans that I've interviewed, and the consensus is that we're still going to be playing on all different platforms in the future, consoles and PCs and tablets and mobile and virtual reality, because we need that variance, right? You need that variety. You need to be able to, if you're on a computer screen all day for work, you're going to want to play on a console. You're going to want to play mobile because you just need that breakup. And the thing with virtual reality too is that we still have a lot to catch up on. So it's going to be a while. I think everyone agrees. Where before that becomes the thing, the only thing.
Well,
does that make sense?
It's starting right now with the Oculus Rift. I mean, I think it's got a pretty good step forward right now.
It does have a good step forward, except Facebook bought it.
Oh, seriously?
What are they going to do? Here, social manage your life with a virtual reality headset.
Again, Farmville.
Here's 3D Farmville. Okay. So you bring up a point about the future that I want to hit on here real quick, because I don't think gamers really want a future. And hear me out before I say this. Okay, we had a really good run with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. So when it came time for the new systems, yes, Xbox messed it up bad with their announcement saying, no. So they had to go back and, change a bunch of policies. However, it's the same thing Steam is doing basically, and some other factors come into play. And it kind of gimped the idea that gamers would be willing to accept a new type of future. They're so stuck in a rut.
Oh, absolutely.
I have an Xbox One with a Kinect, and I absolutely love the whole Kinect functionality. People stopped liking the motion controls because it was too much effort. They just want a controller. Do you see gamers kind of stumbling in what they're familiar with and not wanting to go to the next level? Like, would we actually have an Oculus Rift that would be mass produced where people would be like, yes? Or they'd be like, oh no, I need a controller. I don't want it looking at me. It's in the government spying on me through my Oculus Rift.
I don't know. I think everyone's, of course, different, and everyone, there are people that love to be on the forefront of change, and they want to be the first testers, and they want to be like, hey, I want to try this system, I want to help evolve the industry forward, or I want to experiment with this, that. And then, like you said, you have the die-hard, they love the controller in their hands feeling. I mean, it's the same for books, right? I live a die-hard paperback person. I love having the book in my hands, but there are people who live and die by their Kindle, and they love reading books, ebooks.
Me.
So I think go ahead.
Everything I have is ebook wise now. I mean, I used to have a giant book collection, and then the apartment building caught on fire, so it all burned up. And instead of paying so much money to get all these first editions, because I can't do paperbacks because the edges get soft, and I have this weird aversion to soft things, I just started getting everything digitally. And it doesn't take up any space. It doesn't weigh me 500 pounds to move it and stuff like that. So I'm one of those people who like the idea of a digital future in things.
But hey, I want you to make one exception. I got to be able to sign an autographed copy of Holders for you someday.
Yes, because I actually realized I have a few books. I've got the 4th version of Shadows of the Empire I bought because everyone's either been stolen or burnt. I have the original Speed Racer graphic novels in a little case.
Very nice.
And I've got Frequency from Eddie Rotten because he gave it to me and signed it.
Very nice.
I have 4 books.
Those are the keepers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you guys, you know what's cool is that it's a great book for male or female readers, because I don't harp on the stereotypes. None of that crap. It's all just real life human frailty. It's about female protagonist going after a hacker who's manipulating the game and the people. It's a thriller, so it's very much like a screenplay. It's very fast reading, and I think that's why people of any age and any type of gamer, or for someone who's never played games, really enjoy reading it. So definitely help me spread the word.
We will be helping you spread the word. So we're out of time, Genese. I have one last question you got to be 100% honest about, okay?
Oh gosh, okay. Don't make me blush.
Have you ever been one of those people who has taken an entire day off for a World of Warcraft expansion?
No, I haven't.
What? I would have figured,
I actually want to say yes to that, but you told me to be completely honest.
Yeah, I have known many people who've missed days of work for Warcraft expansions. So, yeah, I figured,
No, I love it. Like, when I hear the passion in people saying, like, hey, I'm taking this Tuesday off or whatever, I think it's awesome, because how cool to have something that drives you and that you're passionate about and that you enjoy and that you can get together with your friends with. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's such a camaraderie thing. It's such a teamwork. You get together and you break down these challenges together. It's just, to me, online games is one of the most fun and energetic and adrenaline type of experiences that rivals going to theme parks, because you're together as a group and you're doing all this great stuff, and it's just, there's nothing like it. And I think when people hear me talk about it like that, they go, oh, well, I want to try it, because it really is that fun.
It's super
and,
fun.
And before we go, I want to invite you guys to all of my next appearances. I hope to see you at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm leading several panels there on video games in our future, what video games can teach, Wonder Women of the 21st century, like a female protagonist panel, creative storytelling panels. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Esports, the evolution of esports panel, and I'm doing those in Chicago, in San Antonio, in Philadelphia, all over. So I hope to see
we're hooking up with another site that's actually running a podcast-a-thon to raise money to go to San Diego, so I'll definitely tell them to hit your way. And if it's in Texas, we're going to find you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's like an hour and a half away from here.
So, thank you. And this was just immensely fun. We will have to definitely do this again sometime.
Yes, please.
It was
you guys so much
amazing.
For having me. It's such a pleasure. You could just feel the energy. It's just, this is fun.
Okay, so since this was the first time I ever put Kim on camera, I literally stood the Wolves. Rate her performance on a scale of 1 to 10.
And be honest.
She's all,
She's going to be nice tonight.
Wait. You guys are asking me to rate your...
Yes.
Yeah,
rate her 1 to 10.
Since it's
How
my
is
first
she
day.
as an interviewer for you today?
Oh my gosh, you guys, you break the scales. 11, 12, come on.
Yes.
Very kind.
All right, so we're out of time.
You're asking
Thank you,
for-
Genese. We're
Producer in the
really quick.
background. I was waiting to hear the answer.
Where can they find you online?
Oh, okay. GeneseDavis.com is my website. I'm also my author page on Facebook is facebook.com/author Genese Davis. I'm on Twitter at Genese Davis. My movement, thegamerindyou.com. You can find me. I also host web series and YouTube. See, this is you regret asking me. I have so many things to list. Of course, I lead panels all over the U.S., so you can find me in a bunch of different cities. And mmrpg.com. I write columns for them, so you can find all my
She's
columns
busier
there.
than we are.
I think you're all over the internet at this point.
All right, so
Right.
you guys can find her.
I have a bunch of upcoming projects that I'm writing video game lore and characterization for that are secret under wraps right now, but I can't wait to
Oh,
share
you
it
had
with
to bring that
guys.
up.
The teaser for the next time we talk.
Yes, definitely
Okay,
teaser for next time we
We're
talk.
gonna have to do teasers, okay? That's a promise.
All right, so thank you again. Good luck. We will run into you again as soon as you get closer, and we will definitely have more fun.
Yes, and I just want to do a quick shout out to all of your listeners and thank everybody and all of your viewers, and just thank everybody for having me again. And
She is like the coolest person ever.
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys,
There's like
don't
no
make me
big
blush.
celebrity head there.
Yeah, and everyone we have on the show doesn't have the big celebrity head, but she's like the queen of who we've had so far. And that's saying something, because I loved Michael Hubicker from the Time Splitters people. I mean, I totally geeked out on that show. So, yes, we'll catch you soon, and thank you guys for listening to the interview, and stay tuned for more fan service.
Thank you, guys.